Wanderers, welcome to the Wandering Dutchman podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Velpen Trucking and Disposal.
Springtime means spring cleaning. Where the idea of spring cleaning originated, we don't care. But what we do care about is you being able to clean out your homes, garages, and barns with ease. That's where Velpen Trucking and Disposal comes in. Contact Velpen today to get your roll-off container now. With multiple sizes to choose from, you can't go wrong. Save time, save money, and save trips to the dump by ordering a roll. Give Velpen Trucking and Disposal a call today at 812-354-3280 or check them out online or Facebook.
The Wandering Dutchman podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wandering Dutchman podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wandering Dutchman. Yeah, yeah. The Wandering Dutchman. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Wandering Dutchman podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over there at Velpen Trucking and Disposal. Fellas, it's spring cleaning time. So if you got a bunch of junk to get out of your house, call our friends over there at Velpen Trucking and Disposal. We are back for another episode into March here. Fellas, anything exciting going on?
Baseball. It's in full swing. Maxwell, seeing him come and go with his bat bag and all of his garb and heading up to the rack to work out and hearing him bitch about this bald bearded guy that's his new coach.
Well,
He's getting after it. And then guys, I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. I shouldn't have said that at all. I do not hate anything about what I'm about to say, but I've got a swimmer on my hands. And boy, oh boy, she is good.
well, by the way, when you just say you got a swimmer on your hand, that could mean a lot of things.
Well,
Contextually,
keep your mind out of the gutter.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we went to South Spencer last night, and Evil, she put on a clinic. She did well, man. She did good. She swam some different events. She's normally been swimming the IM, the 200 IM, but she...
What's IM stand for?
Individual medley.
Ah.
That's where they swim each stroke freestyle. Well, what is it? No. Backstroke, butterfly, breaststroke, and freestyle.
Gotcha.
But she swam she swam the 200 free, which that's an ass kicker. That's what? 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8 laps of the pool.
If it's at 25.
Yeah, it's a tough one there, but did that, and then she swam her 50. She swam the 50 breast last night, which she won, and then she swam she was in a 4x1 relay, and she was the anchor on that, and almost. Now the way that work that there's touch pads at the end of the pool, you know, and sometimes the inexperienced swimmers, they'll try to touch the top rail of the pool.
Yeah.
Which at that point, it's the job of the timer to hit the stop button on the time. But like Evelyn, she actually hit the pad like you're supposed to. That's on the wall itself.
Correct.
Well, this girl, when Evelyn jumped off the starting block, this girl had a full pool length lead on her.
Ooh.
And Evelyn, according to the timer, lost to her by 0.2 of a second. But we think that there was discrepancy between the timer, because that girl didn't hit the pad, and which our coach didn't contest it because it's middle school swim. You know what I mean? And there's no scholarships or World Series is on the line, so. Nobody really contested it, but Evelyn was you could definitely tell, like, she was a little pissed off about it. But we think that the timer maybe short jumped the button a little bit. But either way, her and that relay team, like, they got 2 fifth graders on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Ella Kate Minky, she swims the first leg, then the two littles swim the middle legs, and then Evelyn comes in on the anchor. And they did pretty good. So I don't know. It's fun to watch. I think it's a short season. It's only 3 weeks, but they swim their asses off. And then when they don't have swim practice, she's going to track. So she's really doubling down.
Getting after
Tell
it.
Spencer where the lights went off last year.
No, Heritage Hills.
Oh.
That was in the middle of a tornado. Yeah, that was pretty wild. Yeah, keep going. That's what everybody's screaming, get out of the pool. And then old brother Ryan, he's screaming at Ella, keep swimming, go. Can't see where the hell you're going. It's dark as shit.
You got guardrails there to a certain extent. So swimming, how many swimmers they got on the middle school team?
Not many.
Really?
Yeah, it's tough to have a swim team in a school with no pool.
Well, that is.
Yeah, we took a big shot in the chin whenever the school board decided to do that, which, yeah, we'll leave it at that. So we practice at Pike. They've got a really nice facility down there. And then we practice at Heritage Hills whenever their pool is available because their swim team is obviously using it. And then the Ferdinand YMCA, they do some aerobics and other things using Heritage Hills' pool. So it's got limited availability. So yeah,
that's tough.
But
That's tough to
Heritage Hills has got a nice pool, really nice seating area. South Spencer's pool is really nice, like deep back concrete terrace type seating like ours did, and it's at an elevated position, so you actually look down into the pool. And then it's obviously hot in the pool rooms, so then you can go out, and their locker and commons area is like two-sided with glass. So, and then they've got benches in that, I guess you would say, in the commons areas, which is air conditioning. Or not hotter than Satan's asshole because it's, you're in the pool.
Yeah. That's
or your eyes are not bleeding from the chlorine, but
yeah, that's tough.
It's a nice one. So yeah, so we've been to Pike, we've been to South Spencer, we've been to Northeast DuBois, and then tomorrow night we go down to
Northeast DuBois has a pool.
Yeah, they do. And then tomorrow night we go down to Boonville, and Boonville's got a really badass pool, and there's some pretty prestigious swimmers that's been swimming in that pool, like Lily King and couple other guys. I mean, I know Lily King's from Evansville, but like,
they do some
travel stuff, and
yeah,
one of their coaches down there was on the team that got her ready for the Olympics and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Do they do Sarge anymore?
No,
that's gone too.
I think the only extracurricular swimming program that they have around these areas in this area is called the Cyclones, and I think that's based out of Heritage Hills, North Spencer.
Really?
I believe so. I could be completely wrong, but no, I do know the Southridge Aquatic Raider Gators is no longer a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. So, other than that, what about you, Dave?
Oh, not a lot. We butchered and, and then work. Butchering and, and then work. And then the weather's changing. Ran out of LP this morning. Woke up a cold house.
Like at home?
Yeah.
Wee.
Took me a mighty cold shower. And, it seems like it wasn't that big a deal to take a real cold shower before, but my lungs didn't work. Like, my bitch shins
Probably
hurt.
pretty tough to wash your pecker, too, and that thing's all
Buddy,
box turtled in there, you know what I mean?
it ain't never been so bad in my whole life. I woke Jen up to show her how bad it was.
Oh,
I bet she
look at
loved
this
that.
thing.
No, Dave, not right now. I'm not interested.
Look at this.
No, I'm showing you how small it is. Dave, I know. No, I had to take a cold shower. Okay, Dave,
terrible.
go to work.
It was terrible.
So how do you run out of LP?
Whenever you break your line from your 500-gallon tank, and then you don't get it fixed, and then you got to run a smaller pig tank, and it doesn't really last as long as one would think.
And I've been checking it weekly, but it's been, so we went to St. Lucia, came back, worked for a week, right into hog butchering, worked for a week, right into beef butchering, and I hadn't checked it in like 3 weeks. And we had little
Cold
cold
snap.
snap in there that
Yeah.
would have kept everything running.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough way to find out.
But old brother Clem, text him, hey man, no hurry, I'll work from home today. But a little tank ran out. He said, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So he came over and got her filled up so the family, they could take warm showers.
Did you have to restart your hot
yeah.
water heater and all that
Oh,
stuff?
You got to relight everything.
But we got her all taken care
That's
of.
a pain in the nuts, too, trying to do all that relight.
Yeah.
It's actually not too bad. The furnace relights itself and the water heater, it's never had an issue getting it going.
That's good.
A couple clicks of the snapper do and
So are we going to fix the main line from the LP?
No. No.
yeah, but I need to hang a line on the shop yet. I still need to run black pipe around the edge of the shop here. So you know what I can't believe is that damn stove. I don't remember when I put that in. It's been a few months.
They're very efficient, Dave.
Yeah, I've not even used maybe half of that tank.
Yeah.
And we've done quite a bit of cooking out here.
Yeah. And baking.
Do you have a second one on hand when that one runs out?
Yeah. But it'll be hooked up to the 500-gallon tank. But I asked him not to come right away because we had just seeded everything.
Oh, yeah.
And it was still kind of soft, and I didn't want it all rutted up. Then he was going to come after that big snow we had, once it dried out. Well, it never really dried out.
No.
It's going to rain for the next 8 days, so I'd say it'll be a couple weeks for me. But we should be to warmer weather, so I shouldn't be burning through LP that quick.
No, you should be all right. I think we're forecast. It's rainy, but it's decently warmer.
Friday, I want to open up these shop doors and watch thunderstorms in that 79-degree weather.
Yeah.
I think they're already talking about Friday being a pretty good chance of severe weather. So when you're listening to this, maybe have a weather radio on hand just in case.
Strap in.
Yeah, just in case. So, big fella, anything else outside?
No, that was all about, I kind of covered all my bases there besides the butchering and all that stuff, man. Hell of a lot more goes into butchering a cow than it does a hog. I know that. My God, I didn't think we were ever going to get done. But I have visual evidence of Casey James Lindemann with a knife in his hand, cutting meat up, coming down there, putting work in.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, buddy.
Well, we had the kids. Busy day. Janelle had to work.
They had a ball.
And they run around playing.
Did not want to leave.
No, not too much because they knew it was going to be had to get them clean, and then we attend 4:30 mass there at St. Mary's in Huntingburg. So
good.
They all slept in the back there. Rhett basically didn't let go, and Zoe and Ryan were just kind of zombies. So it's a great workout when you got to hold on to Rhett Man, who's growing into a strapping young boy, and for the stand up, sit down, kneel, rah, and it's a workout. A lot of times I need to hit the showers afterwards because I'm a little warm, depending on
perspiration,
the temperature in the church. But it was good. It was, it came down. I paid the beer tax, brought in $30 for the cooler.
But you didn't have to, but it was much appreciated.
Well, I don't want anybody to ever say, "Hey, you never bring beer." That's a bad reputation to have.
Yep.
If you're that guy that sits around and drinks beer with the boys, you need to make sure you bring some. So that way, if I ever take one from Brother Love's cooler, I just say, "Hey, I've deposited in the bank here a few times." So,
that was what old T-Hub said.
Real glad to see him there.
Yeah.
Oh, he did make it?
He did come out. Yeah, you had just missed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He
said, that's what he said. He said, "Do people drink Busch Light there?" I said, "Well, yeah." I said, he said, "It's poor form to show up to a man's home for the first time empty-handed." And I said, "Well, there's probably 50 cases of unopened cases here, but yes, that's the common brand." He said, "Does anybody drink whiskey?" I said, "Does a bear shit in the woods?"
Yeah. Yeah. So that was there. So we, and I was standing down there, I was talking to neighbor Doug and Paul, and I didn't know how in depth I wanted to get. And then all of a sudden I could feel Paul wouldn't judge me. Paul's not that kind of guy, but I could feel that pesky neighbor Doug was like,
"Oh, he had his eyes on you."
That son of a bitch is going to stand down here and drink beer and talk to us. He might as well grab this knife sitting in front of him and start cutting. So I did. I got into some cutting there. It was nice to help out.
A lot of work, man. I'm bruised everywhere on my forearms from bear hugging them sides, lifting them fuckers off them hooks. I think Justin laughed at me predominantly every time.
Yeah.
Because they were
Goosed you with the boom. that
Yeah,
one
he
time.
did,
That
yeah.
could have been.
Well, it could have been
Could
devastating.
have been bad. It was Jimbo.
Yeah, and
Pole.
that was the tough thing too, like with the kids, because the rock pile is just a common attractant for kids to play on.
William loves the rock.
But I knew, like, some of the tractors, and those guys, they kept a pretty good eye. But
Definitely.
Rhett doesn't keep as good an eye. He still lives in that world where everything's, he's
It's
in
his world.
bubble.
You're just living in it.
Yeah, so trying to keep a close eye on that. But yeah, it was good. It was, then made it back out for the night once the kids got down and everything. It was ventured back out and played a little cards. And like I said, I texted you. I was like, I got one foot in the house shoes and the other foot in the beer drinking shoes. And the drinking shoes.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't feel like I performed very well in the cards that evening, but they just didn't fall very well either. Like sometimes.
Then you listened to me that one time. And
Yeah, you dumb bastard. You really struck me off there. So,
But it was good. It was, it's so tough because we're so busy during the week and we're so busy with the kids and everything else. And it's hard to get out and do too much because you're just exhausted. Just exhausted. So I don't know. It's all part of it.
That's
but
right.
Hey, let's get in the show before we do. Our friends, Hof Outdoor Power. Because guess what, Dave?
what?
It's mowing season.
Hell yeah. Winter's over. Snow is gone. Grass mowing season is right around the corner. You went out, kicked the tires on the old mower, and realized it doesn't have another year in it. That's where our friends at Hof Outdoor Power come in. Hof Outdoor Power has the Cub Cadet or Kubota you need to keep your lawn looking nice. From riding mowers to tractors, Hof Outdoor Power has you covered. Mow responsibly this year.
All right, big fella, what you got?
well, I just to capitalize and double down on what you said about the weather, or Dave said about the weather changing. That's what I said. That's my topic. It says, well, here we go. It's almost 80 this week. I actually ran my AC in my car today. I did not think for 1 minute this morning when I got dressed for work and I seen that it was 42 degrees and raining this morning. I thought, well, I'll go ahead and put my undershirt on and long sleeves and get everything ready for work and headed out the door. And then by the time it quit raining about 10:30, 11 o'clock, we actually got into like production mode and went outside and like formed up concrete, formed up for concrete and made grade and all that stuff. And like, I sweat my nuts off. Like, I took a photo of myself to send it to you guys, which I don't know why I didn't send it, but I sent one, but the other one was actually like, I looked like Dave. There was like sweat running off my nose and everything. It was wild, but yeah, it was like the first real good sweat of the season. And then when I left work, I had to go to the school and sit there until about 5 to wait for Evelyn to get out of track practice, because there's no sense of driving home for 25, 30 minutes and then turn around and coming back to Huntingburg whenever, gas prices have spiked. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
I did notice that today.
Yeah, that's, obviously because of, global tensions there. But I just thought that I would just kind of, hang out in the school parking lot and just catch some Z's or whatever. And I had my windows down for quite some time after I'd shut the vehicle off. And then the sun was starting to kind of go down to the west there, and it was kind of peeking in. And I thought, God damn, it's hot. You know what I mean? Like, so I just, I rolled the windows up and turned the air conditioner on my car, which then I fell asleep very rapidly after that happened. And then I was startled and got the shit scared out of me by neighbor over here, Mr. Brad Wibbler, pulled up right next to me and just laid on the fucking horn. Ah! I kind of spring into life and look out the window, and he's looking at me like, I got you. And he did, boy.
Yeah.
He got me. But it just was wild because, like, we've had the thermostat's been set on 68, all winter long. And the windows are down or shut and everything at home. And like last night or the night before, she had went in and turned the thermostat up to like 70 or something, because we knew instead of just switching it off, she adjusted it up a little bit higher to where it wouldn't run unless or turned it down rather. I'm sorry. I don't know what she did, but turned it to where it wouldn't turn the furnace on. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of chilly when I woke up this morning, but then when I got home today, I was like hot, and I thought, God damn, it's going to be hot in the house. It's going to suck, when do you do it at home? And I knew today was not going to be the day. But like when I got into the house, I was pleasantly surprised because it was still pretty cool inside the house, even though the furnace was still on, but it hadn't ran,
Yeah.
And it was obviously tremendously cooler in the house than it was outside. And I also think that the humidity was insane today. So that's why it felt a little bit more comfortable in the house as well. But I guess the grand question of it, the whole deal is, which I'm not sure if we've talked about this before, but like, at what point is it time to flip that switch from heat to cool?
So in the winter, I'll keep my furnace at 64 to be conservative of fuel. That's about as cold as Jen will let me.
Yeah, because we didn't want to run out.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
And but in the summer, I'll try to keep it at 74.
God,
That's insane.
fucking sweat lodge, especially as hot as you run.
Yeah, just lots of fans. But so I probably won't turn the air conditioner on until
June.
probably late May,
Bullshit.
early June.
Bullshit.
No
As long
wonder
as it gets down to the 50s at night, like just leave the windows open and fans on.
I probably
I know we've talked about this before because you're definitely the first one.
it's on right now.
Yeah.
Ours is though because of the kids,
Yeah.
and especially because we got one at home dealing with some stuff that anything we can do to make the house more comfortable,
Definitely.
we're going to. But if I had it my way, we would kick the windows open and we'd be able to ride it out some. But it's just the kids aren't comfortable with it, and they hear a noise outside, and
Oh yeah.
it's run into my.
Well, not only your
bathroom.
kids, but the dogs
Yeah, they don't do
sound the alarm.
They don't do too bad, but they would if they heard something going on. But I always remember Mom and Dad, they made it one year well into June. And I think Janelle and I, we were just together. Maybe we were engaged. And like, there was like a badge of honor that they didn't turn on the air conditioner until like June. And I was like, I don't know how you guys sleep at night. I don't know how you deal with any of that. And I guess it's just, I'm a big comfort guy.
Oh yeah.
I just,
What kind of cover do you use on your bed in the summertime?
we use it's a little chilly because the air conditioner's been running all day. But I mean, just the standard, we'll throw on flannel sheet. We call them flannel sheets. They're cotton, but flannel sheets is what we sleep on all the time.
Yeah, I don't use a comforter. I just use like a sheet, like a thin sheet in the summer.
I sleep with the same blanket in the winter as I do in the
Really?
Yeah, that's the same thing for us.
Like
We've
I
got a
have
comforter
it's a quilt. Like I sleep with a quilt, and she has her own quilt.
I sleep on top of the comforter, and I just use a daggum, like woven type.
Afghan.
Afghan?
Yeah, but it's not as holy. But that's what I use in the winter, and then I switch over to just like not the fitted sheet, but the square sheet.
Could you imagine his big ass trying to sleep with fitted?
So here's the question: now, does Jenna get under the comforter?
No.
I was gonna
So we
say because that
stopped
would be
sharing
like a fucking
blankets.
death sentence if she's all trapped underneath that fucking blanket. Like when we went to that place when we went on vacation, Justine, like we sleep under the blankets and stuff like that, but like, how they tuck them in at the end.
Yeah.
First thing she has me do is because she's not, well, she's strong as shit, but like she's like, hey, can you untuck that real quick? Because she can't handle like having her feet locked in.
Trapped.
that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because during the winter time, the dogs will very rarely like climb up in bed and snooze with us. But like when the summertime, I don't know what it is. They'll jump on up and they'll sleep. I mean, obviously we keep the house air conditioned, but we're on that concrete slab. So that helps like before the kind of ground temperature warms up. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but they'll sleep in bed with us in the summertime.
Do you
but in the
have
wintertime,
floor heat?
No. Biggest regret. We should have done it. When my dad always says you got to build 3 houses before you build one right.
Right.
Which we don't have the bankroll nor the desire to want to murder ourselves on picking out finishings and all that other stuff.
No, yeah.
Because that's a whole topic for another day. But it's kind of one of those deals where it's just we thought about it. We talked about it. We talked to some people, and they're like, well, you're not going to get the money out of it in the long run and all this other stuff. But then, when you're at places that have floor heat, it's so comfortable in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Like Love's shop.
Yeah, so comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's what, I wish we would have. I wish we would have done it in the garage and the house, ran one big system or two different systems, I guess, because the garage would be set a lot lower. But I wish we would have done it because it would have made a ton of sense.
We've never had, I shouldn't say we never had. When we first moved in out there, we did have central air. And then that thing took a shit 5 years ago, probably. So we probably did four full summers without central air and just ran window units in the sleeping quarters. And there was some times where the living room would get into the 80s.
Yeah.
Lots of windows in there.
And that fucking sucked. Like you couldn't watch TV. Everybody was holed up in their rooms and it sucked. But now, he's Todd Hayes and Austin Hayes Heating, Air, and Repair. They got us all fixed up. So we'll keep our thermostat in the summer. It'll be set on 70 or 71. But yeah, in the wintertime, since I've turned into a big fat puss, we do have a cuddle dud. You ever seen one of them?
No, I can't say that I have.
It's like it almost looks like a Sherpa wool fox blanket hide thing. Like it's not weighted, but it's thick as shit. And like it is hella soft. And every now and then we'll have to cheat with that.
We do, I'd say during the wintertime, 68, 69, same thing during the summertime. We really don't change it too much. And I'll say this, for your air conditioning and heating, the best thing you can have is the proper insulation in your walls.
Yeah,
makes a huge difference.
We don't, yeah.
And we did, our buddy Chad Wertman, local turkey farmer here south of Holland, he's been in the insulation game for a long time, and he recommended when we were building, he's like, tell them do half spray foam and then do the other half with not like the old pink matting stuff, but do like the spray in cellulose.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you got to make sure that, they let it dry and all that other stuff. And it's phenomenal, does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Because they say you don't want to spray foam all of it because then it's too tight. You still want your house to breathe a little bit to prevent condensation issues. But he said that's why you do a little bit of spray foam and then you do the cellulose with the rest. You got a pretty good seal, but not too much. And I would say that our home, when it hits the peaks of like the winter and the summer, our units run a lot more. But for the most part, it's pretty consistent of, not running all the time. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, if you're building, make sure
insulation is key.
Yeah. It's an investment in your future.
Yeah.
Kind of like education.
Mm-hmm.
So I got no judge, like since neighbor down the road, Brother Hornet, helped me repair the switch for my door and locks and windows. I've been cruising with the window down. It was nice.
Yeah.
On the way home today.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice.
It is nice. Yeah.
It's a good thing.
I'm a big windows down kind of guy. Dave got to experience that firsthand. 4 hours in the vehicle. I think I rolled it up and down about, 50
I don't think you're windows down type of guy. I think you're just a play with the switch type of guy.
50 times per mile.
You may need to get those switches replaced there, Dave. The little breaker in them. Like even like I'm only a windows down guy if you're 60 miles an hour and below.
Oh, no, I'm all the time.
Even on the interstate?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For a little while. And then roll it back up.
Roll it back.
Yeah. Just,
Dave, how bad was that trip?
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
We're in the trust tree.
I was pretty banged up when he picked me up.
Yeah, you tied on a good one.
I was pretty banged up. Thank you for taking me home, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for taking me home. And, so when we got in there, I went to put my sunglasses on, and I think we probably made it to the end of 161, and I said, I got to take these off or I'm going to barf. He's like, oh, God, please don't do that.
That's
And
funny.
then, by the time we got our coffee down and made it to Martinsville, we had to stop and pee. And
Get big gulps.
Oh, we got to replenish the fluids. that you
we'll
lost there.
talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, that's what I was talking about. It's almost air conditioning time. So, hey, by the way, real quick, shameless plug here. If you do need your air conditioned or get your air conditioning ready, call whoever you want to call to do it, because it's going to suck if your air conditioner doesn't come on when you turn it on.
That's even a scarier thing because we've had it a couple of times when we went to turn the furnace on, where there's been like a switch or something else that's just bad.
Yeah.
And there's no worse feeling because then you call and they're like, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. And of course, the part's never there.
Right.
Because it's the most obscure thing to break.
For sure.
Yeah,
Stay on top of that.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you wondering about?
Projects with the old man. So this is a now topic, and as you were a child growing up topic. Two sides of it. So old lady tank was starting to make a little noise, and I reached out to our buddy Zeth Witz at DuBois County Tire and Supply, and I said, "Hey, these tires we bought for Lady Tank, are they known to be kind of louder?" And he's like, "No, they shouldn't be, man. You just bought highway tires. They're not all terrain. They're not mudders, whatever, anything like that." Said, "Should be a pretty quiet ride." I said, "Okay." And of course, he always, follows up. "Well, what can we do to help? Is there something wrong?" And I was like, "Well, it was either the tires or I think a wheel bearing going out." And I said, "The tires don't make sense because the other three aren't this loud. I could diagnose the problem pretty good." And so old Papa Frank and I put in a new left front wheel bearing last night because Janelle drives Lady Tank. And if you've ever been in a vehicle when the wheel bearing finally goes to shit, about yanks the steering wheel out of your hand and you can't, you're done. You're not going anywhere but 2 miles an hour. And it had been going for a little bit, so I was like, I don't want to tempt fate. She goes to take the kids and everybody all loaded up, and she calls and says, "Hey, this has finally went kaput." So buy the wheel bearings, and the crazy thing of it is when you don't do it every day, it's a tough thing to do. That's the first thing with all this stuff. If you don't do it every day, you're not good at it, which leads to the frustration because you think you should be able to do it. And I think we got it changed. It was kind of bad because we did it Monday night. Monday's a tough time to do everything, but we finally got that son of a bitch done. But it just kind of reminded me of, those projects that you did with the old man. And then you start to think about it what projects do I include my kids on? Which mine are a lot younger. It's tougher. And you get frustrated because very rarely they're more in the way than helping, but the patience that comes out of it. But I was just kind of wondering about it because even at 39 years old and Dad and I were out there and my kids would come out to see because it started to get late. And so they were like, "Hey, you and Pap all done? Because we're kind of ready to leave. It's bedtime, we're fed and cleaned up, and the frustration of that started to build because I was like, I'm up to my knuckles up to my elbows in this damn wheel hub assembly trying to get it. And the worst part about it is these people, how they put bolts and shit, they just don't make them accessible for a guy. And then you got to, they're torqued to whatever they are and they've been in there forever and they're rusted and nothing. And it was just a hell of a time. And then it's a wild thing because I think those back bolts, you had to get them to 177 foot-pounds. Mm-hmm. And you don't have room to work. You don't have anything. You're laying on your back. You're trying to do it, just a clusterfuck. And I don't know. I'm surprised Dad's never beat any of us with a wrench or a hammer when we've helped him with stuff.
I'm sure he's thought about it.
Oh, I'm sure he has. Because my frustration started to boil over because we were trying to get these bolts, and they're 18-millimeter bolts, but there's the axle that goes in, there's kind of a protective thing on it. Mm-hmm. So it's tough to get a good clean, and there was a couple times where I lost my patience, and I was just like, yeah, this is, so I don't know. I was just wondering about it, kind of trip down memory lane, but stuff you do with your boys or your kids or vice versa, and just thinking about it, because it's those little things where it probably doesn't mean much to you that you're standing there holding the flashlight or you're handing nails, but you hear the curse words, you hear the frustration, you hear the aggravation. And of course, it probably didn't help. We just be like, well, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Well, why are we doing, because I get it. I understand it. I've reached that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh, my kids and wife take videos of me when I'm doing projects.
You know those average dad crash out videos?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple.
Your projects get that sideways?
One of them, I think
I don't like being under a sink.
Yeah, he was laying under the sink, and he sent it to Jenna, sent it to Justine, and it sounded like she was having a stroke in the room, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, oh my God, look at this, look at Plumber Dave in here.
What were you changing? A garbage disposal?
Faucet.
Just leaky.
No, it was the faucet was leaking beyond repair. Like, it's one that's out here, like where the nozzle pulls through the damn thing, instead of having a spray gun. And that thing finally, it wasn't like the fitting, like the hose cracked right there by where it bends. So there was no fixing it. There was just replacing it. And you can't get in there when the sink's in and everything's against the wall. And I get creative with my profanities. And
very colorful. Very colorful. My dad was... he worked his ass off all the time, so whenever it was time to chore, it was time to chore. But I can remember, so it was, Dad was just more of a, hey, we need to get this done. Just stand here and hold the light, keep your mouth shut type thing. And we'd get it done and shit, and then mowing the yard, and stuff like that. He would just get me started, and then I kind of just had to learn as I go and stuff. But Grandpa, working with my grandpa Marvin down in Standoff, that was the one that I really, not that I didn't help my dad. I did help my dad quite a bit, but I learned a lot from my grandpa Marvin with the wrenching and the tools and the box end wrenches and the crescent wrenches and changing engines on lawnmowers and going to dinkies and, doing shit like that. We did a lot of stuff like that, fixing fences, because them damn goats would get their head stuck in the fence and stuff, and shit like that. But yeah, so I did a lot of choring down there and then putting hay in the hayloft, grinding his own corn. He had his own corn. He'd get corn from the corn crib and we'd go to the grinder and we'd grind our own corn for the goat feed and stuff like that, so helping him. And then old Wild Bill up in Huntingburg, that one was he was a wealth of knowledge. And I told my dad said it too, which my dad knows how to do it, and because he grew up around it. But like woodworking, furniture repair, stuff like that. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I wish I would have paid more attention to my grandpa when doing those things to sharpen my skills now. But like Justine tells me all the time, she feels like I hoodwinked her, like I bamboozled her because of how handy she thought I really was. But I'm handy when I want to be. That's my biggest problem. If it's a project that I want to do, I'm going to slay it. I'm going to get after it and get it done right and do it. But if it's something that I don't...
I felt like we killed that door project.
I know, but it still needs to be painted.
Oh, yeah.
It still needs to be trimmed out. It still needs to do... I'm more of if I worked on a construction crew, I think I would be one hell of a framer. Or setting... I'm not going to set trusses because I don't do well with ladders, and that'd be a big fucking truss for me to walk around on. But I think I would be more of the rough end guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not a good finish guy.
No, I can't stand it. I don't like to paint, which I can paint. I'm very proficient with painting. I do a pretty good job. I'm not real messy. I can cut and I can do it, but I fucking hate it because we've done it to 2 houses now, from top to bottom, minus the big living room in our Huntingburg house we subbed out, and then the big living room in our house that we live in now we subbed out because it's got
the vaulted ceilings,
20-foot ceilings, and then there again the whole ladder thing.
I think this is like a double-edged sword in today's world. I think you started doing project with your old man, or you started learning things because you were working on out there on that 1983 Chevy pickup, truck where it was pretty simple to replace stuff.
Exactly right.
And now everything, they've made it so complicated and electronics
Just
driven.
like Wyatt's truck here recently, he's like, I don't have a scan tool. I don't know what this.
No, I definitely had a scan tool, it's just it wasn't working.
So like the everything, you got to have a scan tool. You got to find the ECM port. You got to see what the codes say. It's this sensor. It's that sensor. It's not a distributor cap. It's not a faulty plug wire. It's not a, like a freeze plug or a fucking thermostat or something. It's always, the intercombobulator bullshit that you got to have specialty tools.
That Yukon, that old variable valve transmission bullshit, that was a bigger project than I.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what, because it drives Janelle nuts. That
I wonder if that old boy's wife still drives.
Where was he from?
Arthur Junction area.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it recently in town with a younger fella driving it
with a for sale sign on it.
No.
It ran pretty good. Just had some colorful lights on the dash.
Yeah, I just think it's things like that have become more complicated, so people don't get in them. And then I think everybody's so pressed for time because we put our kids in everything that they can possibly do. So like the last thing you want to take on is like your project out here, Dave. Most people wouldn't have done it on their own. And I mean, you even had some side help, not from other people,
I definitely
but like
do it on my own.
But you know what I mean? Like this, like a project like this, I
was at Weston actually got real involved in this one, which normally like wrenching on stuff, he doesn't get too. No, he doesn't have a vehicle yet, so maybe that's part of it. But he doesn't show a whole lot of interest in that. But out here on this one, he wanted to get in there and run saws and nail guns and hang installation and cut installations.
That was the nice thing. You learned a lot working maintenance down at the park. Not that you get too in depth in things, but you start learning a lot of different stuff. And then working construction, like that, give me a little. But when it comes to some of the wrench turning,
we had to laugh today because in the service truck we have like where the power tool. God, I can't.
There you go.
The power tool box. We've got like a drill rack in the bottom, and then all the fasteners and things are stacked in there, organized and stuff. And there's a bit box where all the bits go, the driver bits, nut drivers for the split couplers and all the hose clamps and all that, blah, blah, blah. And there was a 1/2-inch socket and a masonry bit, like in a screw box. And the one guy was like, yep, this doesn't go there. No, that doesn't go there. He said, we just can't find a way to get those put back where they need to go back. And I immediately said, oh yeah, that's got insert name here wrote all over it. And he kind of chuckled, and I said, yeah, the other day we were pre-drilling some stuff, and the one guy comes out with this fucking concrete bit, and we were drilling through wood, and I was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like he had no idea that was a masonry bit, and he said, oh yeah, that sounds a lot like so-and-so that we used to work with. And I said, yeah, but you got to give this guy a little bit of a break because, he's 19, or 18, he's not 40, you know what I mean? So I think it's just that whole thing, where we've talked about this before, but like we've worked with kids before through the ICE program where they come to work and you tell them to go to the truck and grab me a pair of vice grips.
No clue.
Not a clue.
So when I was teaching over there at VU, it was for the CAP program, and they're basically I'll be kind of getting them up to be maintenance techs and stuff. And one of the kids that was going to class out there worked with me at IFI. Good kid, one of the best in the class, did great on tests. He wanted to learn, but he just didn't know. And we had something go down at IFI, and the maintenance supervisor's out there, and he's real colorful when he got pissed off, And he says, insert name here, go get me I need 2 adjustable wrenches. He's like, what? He's like, adjustable fucking wrenches. And insert name here goes, is that the ones that go like this? He says, it's the ones that's going to go up your fucking ass if you don't get the fucking thing. That poor kid. And I was like, gosh dang it, man, leave him alone.
Yeah.
He wants to help you and bring you the right
Exactly.
fuel
That's-
the first
that-
time.
And I think there's a great point to that, because in this generation, when you get guys that are fresh and green like that, you have to.
Kid's doing great, by the way. Smart kid, doing good. He just didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
You got to learn somewhere.
It brings me back to the Christmas story when Ralphie gets out to help his dad change that
Oh,
tire.
yeah.
And he spills the lug nuts off the hubcap and he says, "Oh, fuck." You know what I mean? What? You said what? You know? Because he was down there in the basement holding the flashlight, helping his dad work on the old coal furnace and hearing his dad,
Oh, yeah.
belt all them expletives. But I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, hold the goddamn light. Quit moving. Like, come on, Zachary. Like, stuff like that. If I heard that once, I've heard it a million times from both of my grandpas and obviously my dad, But I don't know. Like, my kids, and I hate to say it, but like, kids are different. And the way things, and it could be 100% me, which I know, old boy down the road, he involves his kids a lot with those things. And I think that's really cool. Like, driving us places and stuff, you know what I mean? Like it's second nature, you know what I mean? Like walking, even when Max was little and we were out at the Shirley's at the swimming and stuff, and you see Max and Evan, take off walking with the weed eater. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. They're like 7 years old walking over the hill with a fucking weed eater. Like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, there's a bunch of briars in the four-wheeler path we're going to try to knock down so we don't scratch our legs up, and you're like, okay, well, just make sure you stay the hell away from the other guy with the weed eater so they don't take your legs out, you know what I mean? And seeing the kids walk over the hill with a BB gun and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, that's stuff that I did, and that's stuff that I would want my kids to do. Like, now my kids have different interests that I did when I was a younger kid. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't play video games and I didn't play sports as seriously, I guess I would say, as my son and my older daughter do. Now my younger daughter, she loves to fish and hunt and do all that shit. Hell, she walks down to the lake and fishes by herself all the time. You know what I mean? But I'm okay with it because she's been with me enough to know, like, this is how you unhook a snag. This is how you take a hook out of a fish's mouth. This is how you tie a new jig on if you break one off. You know what I mean? So I don't have to constantly, like, and then, you put the fear of God in them, like, you don't get in the damn water. You don't put yourself in a situation where you could fall, you know what I mean, to where you have to worry about that part of it, so.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things.
I think it's just
You got to let them, sorry to cut you off again, but you got to let them be kids on one side of the thing. But then you also have to let them have a little bit of independence because, like, my older daughter, when I let her ride the Ranger or drive it, which is not very often because we live on a fucking mountain with lots of trees and a lot of things that could be tricky, but their sense of independence really comes out whenever you give them tasks that you wouldn't normally give them. Like today, I told my daughter, like, hey, take these 2 Target boxes out there to the burn pile or the trash barrel and burn those boxes. Well, how do I work the lighter? What do you mean, how do you work the lighter? And then I got to think, well, we've always told them not to touch the damn lighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't touch the lighter. That's something that you don't do. But then I had to explain to her, well, you push this button and you pull the trigger. But then, I put the fucker back up into the hiding spot so she don't go and burn the house down. But you know what I mean? It's just there's those things. Yeah.
You got to have that. You got to have that. It's just,
Sure.
I don't know. I was thinking about it.
Well, that's a good one.
We were, and it's more, a sentimental thing because my dad has shown me a lot, and I've also learned from a lot of people along the ways. But, and he would tell you, I didn't want you guys to learn how to turn wrenches and do that stuff because I didn't want you to do what I did, what he had to do to make a living. And
exactly. Yeah.
And it's funny how it turns out because now we're underneath Lady Tank trying to get a wheel bearing in at, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And he probably wishes he would have done a little bit more, but it's just one of those deals. Like, and this is a prime example of like kind of knowing how to do stuff, for Janelle's mom. she had a spreader that went on a 4-wheeler that just attached to the bars back there. And she got rid of the 4-wheelers and, the side-by-side, it wasn't going to work for that. So she didn't want to get rid of it. So my dad said, we'll rig something up. And now he's got this nice spreader made out where he had some angle iron that he's welded together and bolted together and, done some different things. And I'm like, how?
Handy, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Grandpa Bill, same way. I mean, there's people that brought shit to, like DuBois Wood would bring stuff up to Grandpa to weld. Like, there's 16,000 other people around these areas that could weld. And this is a full-blown ass furniture factory that would take stuff up there to Grandpa's little shop on Jackson Street and have him tack it up.
And the wild thing of it is you have those welding classes and all these certs and all that other stuff now, and you look at like my dad, and it's like he's never taken a welding class.
No,
somebody showed him and said this is what you do, and then you do it.
They always used to laugh at Grandpa Bill because they'd go up there to. I think even the city would do stuff, every now and then, because he was on the fire department. Everybody knew it, like, hey, we needed this tacked up real quick, and they'd take it up there, and he wouldn't, like you could write your name in the hood, the glass on his welding hood, because he never used it. Like, he would just fucking weld with no hood on or nothing.
Yeah.
Put his cigarettes out with his hands and shit, it's like they don't make them like that no more.
Well, and some of that is those guys are characters.
Oh, yeah, and he was.
And that's where, in this day and age, you don't have those guys that are just characters like that anymore. And I don't know how you develop.
I think I heard one talk on the phone there the other day.
Well, but he's of the older generation.
You're damn right.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, who's on our age, and you don't have to name names, but who would you say is a character? Like, in a sense like that
I know a few. We're sitting by one.
He would be. Brother Dave is a character. There's no doubt about it. God, you're perspiring like crazy over there.
Shouldn't have wore the sweatshirt.
Running hot.
They're running a little hot. Hey, since we are running hot, let's take a quick pause. Brought to you by LC Lawn Care and Pressure Washing.
We're busy. You're busy. And your grass isn't going to stop growing. That's where LC Lawn Care and Pressure Washing comes in. Our buddy Logan Clark is top notch when it comes to keeping your lawn looking good all year. Also, did we mention Logan does pressure washing? Get your deck, patio, or outdoor furniture cleaned up and ready for hosting. Call Logan today at 812-631-4700 or check out LC Lawn Care and Pressure Washing on Facebook.
And we're back. Brother Dave, what's on your mind?
Where do you guys stand? I already know where Mace stands. Where do you stand on like quick turn road trips? What I'm driving at is, so we butchered last weekend. We've talked about that. Had an event pop up, and I had reason I needed to make a whirlwind trip back to Wayne County, Indiana. We were only there 20 minutes, 30 maybe. 3.5 hours each way. And I love it. Like when I ain't got nothing to do and I can just crank the radio up and nothing against my kids, but if the kids and wife are in there, I can't just crank the tunes. And they're on their phones listening to Tic Tacs.
Love you to death, but
so it's not quite as enjoyable. Are we there yet? Are we almost there yet? And I was like, here we go. We're just going to set off on an adventure today. Brother Mace, I'm here to tell you, does not like it.
Can I stand up for myself real quick?
Go ahead.
I was pretty banged up. Like I said a minute ago, I was pretty banged up when we left. I felt like what a friend of mine always says, hammered dog shit is what I felt like when we left, because I had a night. We butchered our balls off all day. And you know what? Believe it or not, I don't think I had my first beverage till it was probably almost after lunch before I had cracked my first beer. But then once started making that stupid ass tallow and that damn lard kettle and tallow pot, like it's the same thing. All you got to do is sit there and watch it. And then you start hammering them. And then after we got that done, they started those odds and ends, little pieces of ribeyes that just don't go in the package, you know what I mean? So we had to cook those. And a friend of the program, Mr. Treader, our butchering connoisseur, he also knows how to grill. And those were fucking good.
Well, they were fresh, too. That's
very
the biggest
fresh.
difference.
Never been froze. hanging for 3 weeks.
Didn't swallow any Zins this time.
Good for you.
Good. Proud
But
of
yeah,
you.
no.
Baby
So
steps.
I felt like crap when Dave picked me up that morning, and I knew.
Some would say that's being irresponsible.
No,
when
it's
you know you
true.
got a
Yeah,
road
it's
trip.
true. It's true. And the thing is I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. Like I didn't know. Like there was no plan. We were shooting from the hip. We literally talked about like what our mission was and everything. And it was just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just an adventure. Like, there's where we're going to go. I'd never been there before. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't know that I-70 was rougher than shit.
Oh, it's
and I
bad.
thought the front end of his truck was going to beat out multiple times. So, like, I mean, yeah, we stopped at Martinsville.
You drove that thing instead of taking the more fuel-efficient new unit?
Oh, God.
I wouldn't touch that thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to drive that.
Because it's a hybrid or otherwise?
No, just it's her. That's
What do you have against green energy, Dave?
not a thing. It's just
Oh,
that's her,
seems
her
like it.
rig, and I don't want to.
Taint it.
Yeah.
Your name's on the title
I've
too, right?
only. First time I rode in it is when we dropped Wyatt's truck off Friday. Then I rode in it again today to go pick it up. So
Yeah,
I've been in
Evelyn-
it for maybe 8 minutes.
Evelyn said she thought she saw you today. Did you pick Wyatt up at the field house?
No, I took his truck and dropped it off at the field house, and I picked it up from friend of the show.
But then you got in Jenna's
Yes,
rig.
yes.
'cause
So
she said,
so what do you have to do to it?
change the oil.
Oh, that was what was the conversation there.
Yep.
That's tough. You could, Dad and I could have got that done for you.
Now, what I was trying to drive at here. When we go to the swamp, I know where we're going. I know what we're getting into when we get there.
You're also doing some driving. That might make a difference.
I also am doing some driving, which it didn't bother me riding over there. It did not. We were trying to chat, and we had some pretty interesting conversations about. Do you know what a group of Sasquatches are called?
Well, it's got to be made up because Sasquatches aren't real, but
You're
go ahead.
stupid. So like there's a troop, or you could call it a tangle of Sasquai. And you know who knew that?
Glad I wasn't in the car for that one.
You know who knew that?
I didn't know it. I just
He said Sasquai. And I Googled it, and I'd be goddamned if it did not say it right there. A tangle of Sasquai.
I'll
A
share a
family unit.
quick trip story here for you, Dave.
Okay.
The first off, fan of them, especially if you're flying solo, because you kind of got a mission. You got what you got to do. You can listen to tunes. Because when we have to go up for like gaming commission meetings and stuff, like we'll drive to Indy and back, and that's the best. You can listen to whatever you want to, podcast wise. You're stopping and eating wherever you want. Generally, it's White Castle. You snack on them burgers on the way down, and it's just a good trip. But Papa Frank and I, and he'll remember this because it was a long day, but we went up to Fort Wayne, Indiana, in a U-Haul truck that had no air. Or no, we drove back in the U-Haul with no air conditioning. But because Jennifer was moving from Fort Wayne back home, and Dad and I loaded up. It was just he and I. I don't know where the rest of the crew was, but we loaded up at U-Haul, and we turned and burned in one day. And we had at least 9 to 10 hours worth of driving. It's about a 5-hour trip. And I think we loaded up her house in record time. And it was stack boxes, get them where they're secure, and then let's get moving. Mm-hmm. And then that's when we discovered that the U-Haul had no air conditioning. And so we were all sweaty and nasty from moving. And then that ride back was tough. But it was a good trip. I mean, we had a mission. We had clear goals, knocked them out, got them back. And I like to drive. I'm probably not a very good passenger. Probably a control freak a little bit, as some would say, but I also just, old Papa Frank, he comes from a line, he was a truck driver. He used to deliver furniture back in the days when we had our buddy Chuck Kramer on the show, when truck driving was a profession and it was something like that. So when Janelle's like, you really want to leave at midnight? And I'm like, yeah, it's the best way to go. I'm the son of a truck driver. You got to trust me. And she's like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, well, I'm just telling you, it's in my blood. And I don't know if that's how that works.
I took Grace, my sister-in-law, back up to Purdue one time, and that didn't bother me. Drove up there and back by myself. She was with me first, and then I came back. But like that stuff don't bother me. Driving to Chicago the one time with Justine and then coming back, like that was fine. You know what I mean? But like that's 12 hours of driving. You know what I mean? So it's not like I can't do it. It's just that like I think my hangover had a very big thing to do with that this weekend, you know, whenever we did it. But like when we were coming home, it seemed like we were in a time warp. Like it did not. The drive back from up there did not seem like it took near as long as it did to get there.
The last 40 minutes was pretty tough because I had to shit pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
I shit twice, like on the way. Or one there and one back.
That's amazing.
But old home turf shitter here, he couldn't even fathom the thought of it.
I fathomed it at Love's at the truck stop, but there wasn't any open shitters, and I wasn't going to go back in there with Gary, the weirdo, scrubbing.
Oh yeah, I followed him up. The guy cleaning, like I was standing. The handicap stall was out of order, and then the two stalls where one was occupied and the other one was getting a fresh scrub. And then as soon as the creep that was cleaning the shitter got out, then I went in and defiled it after it had been cleaned.
Well, think about this. When we went up for the Big R Classic, you know, we had to go all the way to the north side of Bedford, damn near Bloomington.
Yeah.
That was a fun trip.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that quick trip turn. I mean, we had golf which I think I've got a date for it. I think it's sometime mid-May, so we'll have to make sure schedule's clear and take our boy Teddy Hoops up to play. But, I don't know. I'm a fan of them, especially I love solo driving. When I was in law school, it was like a 7.5 hour drive, and I'd love just getting in and going. Obviously, there's no return trip on that until the next time a guy's coming home.
You know, we drove, me and one of my buddies drove. We left at night. We left in the evening time in Tanya, Tahoe, pulling a 12 or 14-foot box trailer and drove all the way to Brinkley, Arkansas in the snow to duck hunt and didn't stop but maybe once for gas and to piss, and that was 9 hours one way. But we did stay for 2 days and hunted, and then we come back. You know what I mean? So I can do it. You know, like when we go to Florida to the swamp, we do it in one day. Like we leave at night and we drive and we don't stop till we get there. I mean, other than to piss and for groceries in Alabama, but like that doesn't bother me. Now, Justine does say that I do have a touch of narcolepsy, like when I get up in the morning, but I think it's got a lot to do with having ADD and the reverse effects that coffee has on me. Like coffee makes me sleepy. Like I'm the 100% opposite of whatever everybody else does with coffee. Like people drink coffee to wake up. It makes me tired.
I drink coffee so much that I don't know that it has a profound impact.
Yeah. No, I just drink it because I like it now.
Yeah. It's I had a buddy get married in LaPorte, Indiana.
That's
in
way
January.
the fuck up there.
Yeah. And drive up solo. And they were talking about this big snowmageddon storm coming down. And I was like, yeah, I could stay another day, come down Monday. I was like, we'll be all right. This is the son of the truck driver mantra that gets you in trouble. And I drove home from the port going like 25 to 30 miles an hour, no more. And I just all the way in the snow, and I'm like looking at the radar, like, are we going to get close to like, you know, where it finally clears out? And I think I got south of Lagodi and where it was like finally starting to be decent. But, you know, nobody out on the road.
Yeah.
Just cruising. Like
we've talked about that too. Like not even just driving at night in the snow when you're by yourself, like plowing and stuff it's pretty peaceful, but
therapeutic to that extent.
But yeah, Dave loves it. He was jamming out, giddy, just dancing around in the truck and everything, the whole thing. Yeah, at one point he asked me if I kept a machete in his door. He's like, "You keep a machete in your door panel?" What?
No, I can't say that I do.
Oh yeah, I do.
I will say drives have gotten better since I got on the CPAP train. Just like even the drive to work, because almost an hour every day. There were some times pre-CPAP where it was like struggle.
I definitely used to fall asleep driving.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the bigger, because when I was in the practice of law, when I was bouncing around from courthouse to courthouse, you're just running like high octane all the time. Like the switch turns on and you just go. Mm-hmm. But that hour drive, singularly hour drive, just like is a different beast.
The warden says that when she was working night shift, there's several times where she doesn't remember driving home.
Yeah, that's tough. That's not a good thing. Which I had to send the old CPAP in to get a little service.
Really?
It started making there's bearings in there. And I guess because that's how it generates so sometimes those bearings can go bad. And first started noticing it was like the thing was whistling at me when I'd inhale. And so
Turbo blowing out.
I didn't.
Did they send you a loaner?
Yeah, so I took it down to Evansville and traded it. I gave it to her. Like she's like, yeah, we can take a look at it. And they're like, we're gonna have to send this off. We don't know how long it'll be. Could be a month, 2 months, 3 months. But here's a loaner for you. And so it doesn't whistle at me. But I had to put it like under the nightstand to try to hide it, because there was like 2 nights where I was like, I can't sleep with this. And then like I woke up the next morning like I was hungover, and I was like, oh, that's why a guy needs to sleep with it. So yeah, it was a tough spot there, but it all works out.
Different make and model, huh?
No, same make and model.
What made you not want to use it?
Because it was whistling at me.
Oh, I thought you meant the
old one.
loaner you didn't
Yeah,
want to
no,
use.
the loaner purs like a kitten. She's just like,
You think they'd just let you keep that one and they'd refurbish the other one and then use it as a loaner the next time?
Yeah, I don't know how all that works. But she's like, we got to send it off. And I was like, you do? And she's like, yeah, we send it back to ResMed. They'll get it. One of their technicians will take a look at it.
So what model are you running?
ResMed 11.
I got the Dream Station 2.
Yeah, mine. We switched over to Respironics.
That's what mine is. You know
Who's
that
Respironics?
Phillips.
Made in Jasper used to be.
Let's see what it is. I'm a ResMed guy. I don't know if there's any difference.
Now I run ResMed headgear.
Yeah, that's what I got right there. The old Dream Station 2.
That's exactly what I have. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I had a ResMed forever until they did the big recall, right? Because there was parts in there that could be led to cancer or some shit.
There was There
was a foam pad in there that would break down over time.
Yeah.
And let out carcinogenic.
Right. So then they
I run an AirSense 11.
AirSense 11.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
I
boxier.
think that's what my dad's got. Right
Well,
there.
and I felt terrible because
Oh yeah, that's a dandy.
because
Spaceship. There.
and I feel bad because they give you the travel bag, and I was in a hurry to grab it, so I went into the pantry and got one of those like evergreen bags, that people put groceries in. Threw it all in there, took it down, and I went to the window, and I go to hand it to the lady, and she's looking at me like,
Will you give me your groceries?
You want your grocery sack
like,
back?
what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, by the way, because there was somebody in front of me that had it all packed nice and neat in their bag, and I just threw everything in there. Did remember to empty the water chamber before throwing it in there.
Good.
I run mine dry. I don't run water in mine.
Me neither.
See, that's wild to me.
Yeah, I raw dog
Don't
it.
you guys wake up like dry?
Nope.
Not so bad.
No.
Now, I ran the shit out of water when we were out west at that higher elevation.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. Yeah. Because, I woke up with cinder blocks in my nose the first night. And then after that, I ran water the whole time we were there and never had another issue. But we were going through bottles of Afrin. Not Afrin, but like the non-prescription nose spray. Like everybody was just so dry.
Yeah.
Bloody noses. It's just so dry
Yeah.
at that higher elevation. And
It's a dry heat.
so we were ripping those saline nose lubricant sprays, and then I definitely ran water in my pap.
Do you ever buy the Arm & Hammer can of saline, like when you're stopped up and you
Yeah, I think that's what we were
Flush
talking.
it?
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, see, when I ran water in mine, like it would condensate in the tube. So
You
then I
gotta
tried
run-
turning the heat off.
You got to run a heated tube when you run
I've got
water.
a heated tube.
Do you run a heated tube?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've tried it both ways, but it would end up condensating, and then it'd be like, it'd just drop water on me. And then I didn't like it because it gets my mustache and it's all wet and cold. And so I just raw dog it.
Do you ever slobber when you sleep?
Every once in a blue
Oh
moon.
God, when I sleep real hard and I slobber like hell, and then I roll over and all that shit just runs all over your face. That's fucking gross. I know. I did.
Thanks for painting us
God
a picture
damn it.
there, Picasso.
So then I kind of take my mask up and wipe that face off and put
Yeah,
it
I
back
have to
down.
do it every once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but we got a new grounding sheet for our bed
Oh, you're telling us about this.
that fits on the bed. That's a bigger one. And my sleep quality is back to being great. I'm telling you guys, the whole grounding sheet
Does it
thing.
plug
grounding-
in?
Yeah, it plugs into the ground on your outlet.
So I mean, like, does that? So it's just like a third prong.
Probably got plastic on the top too to hold it in, I would imagine.
No, it's just a single, like a aux plug-in, like one of those. It fits right in there. They have it where you can plug
Now,
it in
here's
where
the-
the three prong and
I
then
don't
do that.
remember. I don't remember if I actually hooked up the grounds to my.
You got one?
No, I'm just saying, like when I rewired all the plugs in the house, like I don't remember if I actually wired the grounds up or not.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah,
grounded
I'm sure
for
you're
sure.
grounded for sure. Yeah.
Well, that was
I was either
Papa
thinking that,
Frank
or I
project.
could take a
old bent nail construction.
grounding rod and just drill a hole in the floor and hammer that copper rod down through the floor into the.
What's the ground in a sheet? Well, see, but I sleep on top of the comforter. Wouldn't work for me.
Well,
sleep
they
on
have
the
different. So here's the first one we had was like probably.
So it was like a strip,
For
right?
those at home, it was a strip, and it was probably 2.5, 3 feet wide.
So about like
we
the
lay-
thing that's at the foot of the bed at the hotel that you always pick off on the floor.
whatever that is. And so we had that, and it obviously over time some of them break down, and I think ours it would get rolled up, and it was like we didn't like it very well. So I went back to doing some digging, and there's a company that makes like a pad that you put under your sheet, but they say like make sure your sheets are like 100% whatever. So ours are cotton. Flannel sheets are cotton. So it'll help transfer through that better than like a synthetic sheet, depending on what you sleep on. So I don't know. I sleep a lot better and deeper with
So
it.
you run 100% cotton flannel sheets.
Yeah.
You ever run with like the high thread count Egyptian sheets, like 1,000 count Egyptian?
I can't say that I do, no.
Real slickery. I like them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big flannel sheet guy.
I sweat a lot. I don't need that kind of heat.
Yeah, but what keeps you warm in the winter keeps you cool in the summer. Or that's what I've always said about my excessive body weight.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good possibility.
That's what they always say. Why? Well, never mind.
Hey, I do want to share a quick story before we go on to Brado's 3 Big Things, brought to you by Merkley & Sons. It was really tough. So a local business here in Holland changed hands recently. Mm-hmm. And one of the owners of said place happens to also be our doctor. And so I was in Bob's Liquors here in Holland, Ferdinand, in both locations. Check them out. Friendly folks there to help you with everything you need. And I'm standing there when I was coming back, because I paid the beer tax twice. So I brought 60 beers for the operation. And I'd seen his truck out front, and he was there working on something. I was like, I really hope he stays where he's at, because I don't want him, seeing me picking up 30 Busch Lights at 9:30 at night. But he came right out just in time when I was paying. But it was a good conversation.
Oh yeah.
There was no judges there.
No.
Now when I have my physical in October, and hey, I pulled your credit card receipts. Your credit card.
Think you got an idea of how you can shave off a few of these?
Yeah. You guys ever thought about just quitting drinking?
No.
When I lost all that weight in
I've done it.
2019,
I've done
I
it
quit
before.
for 7 months, I think, somewhere in there, and lost a ton of weight. But come to find out, I guess I'm just always Salad Dave, so I'm not like a real fun guy when I'm just drinking water and working out all the time.
Yeah.
I quit for a year.
My problem of it is I don't do it all the time. But like I could see where if I did do it like I do it every once in a while, like I could see where it would be
A problem.
yeah.
Sure.
But a couple beers here and there.
No.
I mean, very rarely do I tie one on.
No.
But I don't know. Because you see all these health fitness influencers on social media tell you their first advice is to quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like people who quit smoking. It just makes them miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle told me, he's like, yeah, they always tell you that, you give up nicotine, alcohol, and sex, you'll live longer, but it just feels that way.
Yeah, that's tough. Hey, you want to get into Brado's 3 big things?
Hell yeah.
Brought to you by our friends at Ooh, I was at Merkley's. You know those stocking caps they were giving out?
Mm-hmm.
I scored me one.
Oh.
It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Haven't put it on. It may not fit my big head, but pretty happy about it.
Yeah. Hell
Pretty happy. And I caught some shit.
Uh-oh.
Our buddy Greeny, who shows up for shit. Hey, are we ever going to get rid of that Thanksgiving ad? We'll get it taken care of.
Some people don't stop grilling in the wintertime. Some do. We don't judge, we listen. For those that do, stop. This is a friendly reminder that putting garbage meat products on your grill leads to garbage results. All the pros of the grill know that when it comes to meat products, the place to get them is Merkley & Sons, the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. Oh, by the way, welcome back to grilling season.
All right. Brado's 3 big things. Toxic chemicals. More than 70% of American adults say they are very or somewhat concerned about exposure to toxic chemicals in their food and drinking water, according to a new survey by the Pew Charitable Trust. The data also suggests that many people want stronger protections, as more than 60% of adults are very or somewhat concerned about chemicals used in food packaging. I know it's the in vogue thing, but count me in the 30% that really doesn't care. How does the country song go? We were born to mothers who smoked and drank. Our cribs are covered in lead-based paint.
I would want to see the numbers on how many of those 60% of people's puffing on a douche flute every day. And then you can convince me whether or not you're worried about the chemicals you're putting in your body.
Now, I will say, when you eat a meal that is full of, when you eat a big old plate of Dino Nugs and tortilla chips with shredded cheese melted on it, and you
No, is that a recipe of yours, Dino Nugs with chips and cheese?
yeah.
Like you put them all together?
The same one?
No.
Oh, I thought you
Just
were
like
maybe
the
onto
Dino
something.
Nugs is the entree, and then like the chips and cheese would be like the side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with
So
banana.
instead of a side salad, it's a side of chips with cheese on them.
I'm just saying, in a
Thinking
pinch.
maybe you could probably put the Dino Nugs on the chips and cheese and it wouldn't be awful.
Yeah.
Oh, hit them with a little barbecue, little
Buffalo or some shit.
buffalo.
But when you eat a shit meal like that, and then like the next day you eat like a
Fresh
nice
steak.
yeah, like a fresh steak or a nice like grilled chicken breast and some like oven roasted veggies and a baked potato, you 100% feel better when you eat that meal versus the nugs.
And I
will
won't
say
disagree that there's chemicals that need to be watched out for, but I think everybody's bitching about them is also riddled with other chemical-ridden things, and we're just getting picky choosy.
Now, according to the old J-Bone, you got to watch out for all the stuff that's in the atmosphere.
Well, it's aluminum foil because they're going to project the aliens on it here soon to keep us from looking at what's really going on.
Oh,
You got a booger on your left nostril there.
You get it?
Yeah, it's gone.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Good.
no problem. But yeah, like
J-Bone.
all the argon and the
Who's J-Bone?
yeah, well, I'll tell you later. But like all the heavy metals in the sky and the contrails and all that shit, like that's the stuff that's going to get you.
Big flat earth.
I do think that there's a correlation to your exposure to chemicals and certain changes in your genetic DNA that causes cancer and other things.
Yes.
But I will say when it comes to the food stuff, I don't 100% disagree, but I think it goes back to a moderation of what you're intaking other times of the day or other times of the.
It's all everything.
If you're eating fast food 3 or 4, like if your 2 out of your 3 meals are fast food during the day,
No good.
probably not a good thing.
No.
But I think if you're doing it like I did it tonight, got done with baseball, didn't have to run home to help put kids down because they were all situated. I ran to Mickey D's, 2 cheeseburgers, a Diet Coke, and a McChicken. Still under, I only had the second. Anyways, digress.
We don't need to talk about it.
We don't need to get into it. But like that's all that is going to be.
For sure.
And then like tomorrow, I probably won't eat till dinner time. It's basketball at Holland. I'll get their big salad with some chicken on it. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's this kind of stuff goes to the point of if you're not taking in anything that's a primary food source, i.e. like a potato out of the ground, a tomato off the vine, yeah, that's problematic because that's what you're doing. Yeah. But I think for most people,
the hormones and all the shit that they put in the meat and stuff like that to keep the cows healthy and all that, like this, the big, like, yes, there are big grass-fed beef operations and antibiotic free and all that shit. Well, those cows are sick. They're sick as shit. There's cows dying. It's just, it's whatever, blah, blah,
Our
blah.
life expectancy is still longer than it was.
Exactly. But and then like, the whole Monsanto thing where the non-GMO corn and the pesticide-free, crops and all that shit. Well, if they didn't do that, people would fucking starve because the soil quality and the yields would be so shit because it would be overran with bugs and weeds that your yields wouldn't be nothing and you would not be able to supply the demand for people to eat. So that's why they do what they do. Now, when I'm saying these other folks that, like we have organic gardens, over here and over there, you go to the farmer's market, you buy your squash, your tomatoes, your stuff like that. Yeah, what 10,000 times better than going to the store and buying a hothouse tomato and a navel orange from California. You know what I mean? Like it's whatever you want to do.
Well, but on the flip side, you hear those stories of those people that eat tree bark and acorns and they still get cancer and die. So
they do.
It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
The Whopper revamped. Burger King, home of the Whopper, is making the first changes to its best-selling menu item in nearly 10 years after consumers complained. The Whopper will replace its soft bun with a more premium one, use a new creamier mayonnaise to be served in a box instead of paper, the company announced on Thursday. The revamped burger rolls out in its more than 7,000 restaurants nationwide this week. The changes come after years of complaints about smashed burgers that were falling apart. Is the Whopper the best burger in the fast food industry? You know what is underrated? Mayonnaise on a burger. What do the Dutchmen say?
I think the Whopper is far and away my favorite fast food burger, but the subpar fries, I seldom go there. But mayonnaise, I always put mayonnaise on a burger if I'm home.
I always do mayo on a burger as well. And the Whopper is by far probably one of my favorites, yeah. But I just don't ever go there because there's not one in Huntingburg and because my wife doesn't like Burger King.
I could count on one hand how many times I've probably eaten at Burger King.
I used to work there for a short time.
So you worked Wendy's and Burger King?
Did you ever
Get
do
any
a
of the other ones?
double Whopper with cheese, man? Golly.
I would say though, best burgers in the business. I really like a Wendy's burger, but you got to deal with the other. Like to your point, that conversation. But I also will say, you go get a
Big Buford from Rally's.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Bingo.
See, I like all the fixings on my burger. That's why I don't like McDonald's so much.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle.
The Big Buford's got it all, and those fries.
Where does the Big Buford come from? Rally's?
Rally's. You can't beat Rally's fries.
Those are good. I like the seasoned fries a lot.
And if they still have a banana milkshake.
Whenever I went to Rally's, I'd get the chili cheese dogs and seasoned fries.
You are a weird guy.
What a savage.
Yeah.
Motherfucker won't shit at a gas station, but he eat a chili cheese dog from frickin' Rally's.
I would have shit at the Loves had there been an open.
Oh my gosh. I don't. You know, we when Dad and I were in Evansville last week, we went to Freddy's there on the north side of Menards.
I've only been there like one time, and it wasn't. I don't remember anything like phenomenal about it. Now, do you? Okay, here we'll go on. We'll nerd on this real quick. What about Five Guys?
Never been.
Been there a couple times.
Overpriced.
Don't go there often.
It's Ritzy's, but 50 times more expensive.
I love GD Ritzy's.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked the burger at the VFW in Brazil, Indiana.
Oh, get that often, huh?
Not anymore, but used to. With some waffle fries and ranch. Dang.
That's not bad. I love a good burger. There was a place in Grand Rapids.
I was wanting a fucking bar burger so bad on that trip.
Yeah.
I didn't want like fast food. Didn't care. It's like if we could just pass a place with like a cold beer and like a pub burger, that's what I'm ready for.
There was a place in Grand Rapids called the Cottage Inn, and they had the best burger. It had been voted the best burger by USA Today, and it came on like a pumpernickel rye bun. They put like a single solid olive on top, but it was just a great burger. Great burger. America's teachers are fucking Brado.
Gosh.
He did this on purpose too. America's teachers are working 2 jobs and barely getting by. Across the country, many of America's teachers are taking on side hustles and second jobs to make ends meet. From Brado, hey, I didn't write the headline/story. Ha, ha, ha. Just so you know, I was laughing out loud as I was copy and pasting this headline. Go ahead and roast away.
Well, maybe if you had a job where you worked more than however many months a year, you wouldn't have to starve to death.
Hey, I'm going to say this. Our teachers are, and we are very blessed here locally to have great public school teachers.
Damn right.
They have to deal with a ton of more and different things than what the generations of teachers before them had to deal with. So, Brado, I appreciate you raising awareness of such a thing, especially how do you fill the 3 months a year that you're off. But you know, I stand with you on that. I don't think teachers get paid enough. I think a lot of teachers get in it to help children. They get into it, and then they realize the bureaucrats and those that sit in the state house, not just in Indiana, but a lot of other states, get involved in stuff that they have no business getting into. And if teachers could be left to teach and educate instead of testing for a test, I would think you would have more well-rounded students.
I agree fully.
Ditto.
Ditto.
Yeah, no, I am the same way. Yeah, like I think that they. I mean, I know my kids.
I'm still going to give Brado shit about being off all summer.
I know my kids. Can
Him
be
and that weed eater.
royal shitheads, but I'd like to think that my kids are pretty decent students. It's just the ones that are not that you really got to worry about.
Well, and it's a shame that gone are the days of Al Mihalovitz taking a paddle to somebody's ass.
Yep.
Or booting a kid out of school that's disruptive.
He won heads or tails here a couple years ago.
Yep.
Al Mihalovitz did?
Yeah, I was on the golf cart poker run.
Really?
Yeah, one heads or tails right out here in the driveway.
Big Al. I always liked Al. But you know what I mean?
Awesome guy.
Because I was talking to a local
He paddled my ass.
That's a lot of ass there to get,
He
big
did.
boy.
Fuck yeah. And then with a big old soup stirrer with holes in it. And then as soon as he get the last blow in, he's like, sit your ass down now. And I did. And I had fucking doggies.
Yeah.
And then I got home from school and Mom's like, how was your day?
And she already knew.
And she already knew. And I said, well, I got my ass spanked. I couldn't believe they did that at school. I said, well, yeah, they did because I gave them permission, you little fucker.
I love Linda.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the kids, the teachers, I just had a conversation with one of the one of the secretaries at the at the local middle school that our kids go to. She's an
Fine woman.
Yes, unbelievable woman, and she said that her comment was, she said, God dang, she goes, if you ever find a point in your life, in your job, where it's just like you dread going, she said, I wish that you could just change jobs like a flip of a switch. And I said, oh no, I completely understand that, and she said, these kids are just built different these days. And I said, yeah, I could only imagine. She said, you know, and of course she told me that my children were awesome students and good kids and we don't have to worry about them, A little rough start for Maxwell, but I think that was just that 7th grade, it was my worst year of all. And I think, he got into some stuff that he didn't get to, blah, 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 nothing, obviously.
Yeah, he wasn't like doing coke off hookers.
Yeah, wasn't going
It'd be wild for a 7th grader.
Unbelievable. He didn't go to jail. He didn't go to jail or nothing. But I just think that the kids these days have way more resources to get in trouble than we ever fucking dreamed of. You know what I mean?
Well, and I
think the teachers have to be cognizant of that, and they have to look for, like, our teachers when we were in high school. Like, if we come in like smelling like a pot shop and had bloodshot eyes, yeah, we smoked a joint on the way to school. Duh. Like, you're high. You need to go to the office. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, kids got all these, like, douche flutes and hiding their cell phones in their backpacks and Snapchatting in the school and, like, doing all these, like, it's a different, like, kids have more resources, I think, today to get in trouble than we did. Like, we were just
You
smoking.
think kids still like snacks and pops out of their lockers anymore?
I don't know what you mean.
That's probably the worst thing I did in high school.
Oh, yeah, like had a bag of chips in your locker?
Well, I'd
Oh,
go
you
buy,
daredevil.
Like 4 cases of soda a week and a bunch of candy, and then I'd, mark it up and sell it in a locker for cheaper and get in the vending machine.
He's an entrepreneur from the get-go.
My God.
I think, though, some of it,
Pyramid scheme.
I think the bad thing of it is they've let, because what you're talking about, if you went and surveyed teachers, they would tell you that probably 90% of those kids at the school are good kids, probably even higher than that.
Sure.
But what they've allowed to have happen is the 5%,
They're really
2% rule the roost.
Yeah.
And there's not somebody there just saying, listen, we're not going to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't going to happen.
Because you can't just, and I've heard this like verbatim from an administrator before. It's like, we can't kick these kids out of school because when we kick them out, they're going to 500 times worse of an environment than they would be if they're rotting their ass back in that in-school suspension room.
Well,
Like, they're not going to get any discipline. They're not going to get any, like, what the hell are you doing, homeboy? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's worse at home than it is, and that's what breaks my heart. That's
How
that's
it was. Like, my grandma, old Viv, she was a school teacher.
Grandma
at
Viv.
Elementary there till she retired. But she had the same complaints. Like, to hear that you guys, they still did, like, the ass whoopings in school, like, that was gone way before my time. But it's a lot more of a populated area up there in that school system. But Grandma had those same complaints about the kids you can't do nothing with, and there ain't nothing, it's worse at home. But it was a majority, I think, back home in some cases. It wasn't 80 and 20. It was probably 50-50.
Well, and I think in the grand scheme of it all, there's a generation of parents that shouldn't be parents that the cycle has continued to promulgate itself, and you're going to have that. But they've become more empowered because there's more sources available now for help than there ever has been, and it just
so
continues.
that's what I'm driving. So, and my grandma would talk about it when I was even in middle school. There were second and in some cases third generation of assistance program kids. Like parents never worked, some's grandparents had never worked, and they just didn't need to succeed because there was a plan. You know what I mean? You didn't have to worry about
that. Is the tough thing about
like snotty ass rich kids, you mean?
No.
Or just broke.
No, they learned the welfare system
assistance program.
They learned how to game the welfare system, and
it's like the union. It was all started for good reasons. Like the union it was a terrible work environment for folks, and it was a really good thing when it happened. But now there's folks that I think over the years, I don't think it serves the purpose it once did, and it's probably cost more than it's worth to some folks.
Well, and that's if you want to get motivated to do something, you cut away any safeties where you either have to make it or you're not going to. Yeah. But then you hate to say that because you're like, well, we don't want to see little Timmy and little Susie starve. And it's like, well, something's got to motivate mom and dad.
Yeah.
To get out and do those things.
Well, the problem is that mom and dad don't give a fuck, and that's the worst part.
Because society will take care of their kids, and there's always been a little bit of that. It just has grown now.
Yeah,
we're not a political podcast.
Yeah, we are not. We are not. But there's some political people I think we could interview and have a good time. Mm-hmm. We've had great comments from the Derek Williams interview.
I would like to get another. Since we started doing like the 2-part interviews like that. So we can just sit down and really get into the weeds with somebody.
Joe Rogan.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
We'll have to find somebody. Mm-hmm. We'll have to find somebody.
Send us your recommendations, Wanderers.
Yeah, and it's got to be somebody feasible. Like,
We're not getting Joe Rogan.
I mean,
because he's not going to pay us enough to come on our show.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He keeps
asking.
I was
thinking. I don't know. Who would be a fun, unique interview? Like, what would we want to dip our toes into?
Anything. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I like about it. And I almost don't want it. The way that one worked out, Teresa said, hey, I got a guy, he's military or something. Should be fun. And we had no idea about him.
I think people don't appreciate the fact that we had just met him when he walked in the door.
Made him wait 20 minutes. I didn't even say hi to him.
Yeah, you're fucking playing euchre.
Well, I was deep in it. And and you were here.
And it was kind of rude of you.
Well, okay. It was. I was on a winning streak. I don't get those often.
Such a loser.
Heard it here first.
There we go. All right, it's time for some final thoughts brought to you by The Rugged Foot in Huntingburg on 4th Street.
Springtime season is known for the mud and the muck. You know the best local shop for boots and shoes? The Rugged Foot on 4th Street in Huntingburg. Our buddy Mike only carries the best products from boots for the mud and muck to shoes and boots for the office. Seriously, Mike is all about customer service. He will get you set up with the right boots that are comfortable and stylish. Head on up to historic 4th Street in Huntingburg and see Mike at the Rugged Foot.
All right, Brother Dave, what you got?
It's been a weird year.
You've had a hell of a 2026 already.
So, of course, some folks have had it worse than I have, I'm sure. So there's always that. But, try not to take life too seriously because none of us are getting out alive. But do your damnedest to laugh because it don't do any good to do anything else either. So, keep your folks close and, keep your chin up. It'll always get better.
Big fella.
Yeah, I don't know. Amidst what's going on globally, just don't get too caught up in the news and the media, and don't read too far into shit. Because what you've got going on right here is way more important than what the hell's going on the other side of the earth. Some would debate that, but I think what goes on in your life and between your ears, there's a lot more important than what other. You know what I'm trying to get at. So, keep your stick on the ice, and warmer days are upon us. It won't be long.
Big thank you to our friends over there at Velpin Trucking and Disposal, Hof Outdoor Power, LC Lawn Care and Pressure Washing, Merkley & Sons, and, of course, The Rugged Foot. We appreciate their support. If you're a small business owner or you got a product or you got something going on, we'll be more than happy to have you come on board. I think we get a lot of listens. We get a lot of different things. We've done some things different to try to get your stuff out there. So if you're interested, give us a call. Happy to work with you. But I don't have anything too profound. Find myself as busy as ever, which I think probably this last weekend, even just helping for a couple hours butchering was nice. It was just talking to neighbor Doug, talking to Paul, which I really love Paul. There's just something he's like a calming influence on everything. He's got a lot of knowledge, but you got to ask questions because he's not going to volunteer a whole lot. But it was kind of nice. School's been busy. We had a big midterm, wrote like 16 pages, which if you can remember back to your days when you're writing a paper, do that with 4 kids, baseball season, podcast, work, all that other stuff. So a couple months, I'm done. Going to have a big graduation party. I don't know how we're going to do that, but we're going to have a graduation party, celebrate it. And I just really kind of taken time, like working on that wheel bearing with Dad. Like that was like we do stuff together a lot of times, but it's nice to spend time with Dad. It's nice to spend time with the kids and the wife. And I am busy with a lot of stuff, but I do find time to try to spend that quality time. But, you know, kind of with everything going on in the world, it may seem dim and a shit show, but I promise you the family and friends you have around you are very important. Go talk to your neighbor, get outside. Just don't get trapped in an echo chamber because that's dangerous for everybody. But other than that, good to see you fellas. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Dutchman out.